Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where we provide world-class education, hope, inspiration and entertainment. Our show today is A Woman's Prerogative, and we bring this in partnership with E360 TV. I'm Caroline Heward. I'm absolutely thrilled and honoured to be representing Dr. Jacqueline as your host for USA Global TV and Radio's flagship show. I'm a TV presenter on this channel, USA Global TV and Radio, and I'm also the resident therapist for the channel. And a warm welcome to our loyal viewers and our friends on E360 TV, and hello to all of our friends across our usual social media platforms. That's YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and X. We have an exciting topic for you today. Our topic is success and happiness, defining what truly matters in life, and it's part 1. I am joined by an excellent full-time panelist. She is Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES. She's known as the Divine Mother, and she is also a Reverend and has a master's in metaphysics. Let's bring our resident and wonderful panelist, Reverend LYDIA FOUGERES, out so we can find out a little bit more.
Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. And thank you for having me, beautiful Caroline. It's so nice to be with you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So for our viewers that have not met you before or are here for the first time on the social media, either on the live or the replay, please introduce yourself and tell our audience a little bit about what you do and how you help your clients.
Well, I am a Reverend to start with, so I celebrate weddings, and I am an author of 2 books so far. They are called 111 Reflections for Thy Earth Odyssey. I am an expert when it comes to problems of the heart. I work with the chakras, yes, but also I have created a special incense that is called Perfect Mate Incense. I created also a mist that is patent pending right now. It's called the Miracle Mist. And also I am an intuitive healer. So I work with chakras, auras, channeling. I do that. I'm a born healer. And I've worked with the best metaphysicians in the United States and Canada. So that is pretty much who I am.
Thank you, Reverend LYDIA. And we're going to find out a little bit more about what you do. I'm excited for you to share with our audience about some of the things that you provide and what has happened in terms of you creating happiness and success. For me, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help people bust their stress. How do I do that? I work with root cause therapy and chakra psychology, how the mind and body connects and what happens to the person physically, emotionally, mentally, behaviorally when there's an imbalance. The imbalance is the symptom. And if you're running around saying, I'm not stressed, but you're also in the same breath and in the next breath saying that you're complaining of a physical ache and pain, or you're complaining about a relationship or a situation that keeps arising, or you're feeling sad or lonely, that is how your stress is manifesting in your life. And I can help you identify what the root causes of your repeating patterns by looking at the blueprint of your life and identifying where it started, where it came from, obliterating the initial root cause, which releases the emotions and feelings and moves you into a place of inner peace and calm and gives you an incredible night's sleep. I also work with corporates and speak to teams in terms of educating them in all manner of different topics relating to stress. And on an educational basis, it's the lunch and learn, I call it, at lunchtime, half an hour talks with a short Q&A. So I do those online or face-to-face. So let's move into our wonderful topic. Success and happiness, defining what truly matters in life. What does it bring up for you in terms of what does success mean to you personally? And right now, I'm looking at this in this moment. What does it mean to you in this moment, in your lifetime, at this point? What does success mean?
Success to me, it has not really has anything to do with work for the moment. It has to do more with how I handle my family, my relationship, and my work as a reverend, yes. But actually it's how I handle my happiness to bring it out to the world. Because by being happy, well, my success in being happy with my family, with my relationships, brings success to my work. So since I am a happy person, well, I can bring success. And actually, even if we are in troubled times, sometimes if we are happy, we go through it more easily. So that is the way I describe success for myself, because success for me is being happy no matter what happens.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I love that description because it's not what I was expecting. And I'm sure there are as many of our viewers that wouldn't be expecting. It's about your family, it's about your relationships. But let's look at that a little bit closely because I'd love to just explore that a little bit more with you, if you don't mind, and say success. When you say it's about your family and it's about your relationships, what is it in that makes you feel that it's successful, that it feels successful? What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Oh, it feels something. It feels funny, like you would say, I have my daughter calling me just to say that she needs so and such cereals, and she calls her mother for advice. I would say this is success, even if it does not mean I am the great author. Well, at least it means I succeeded in having my child actually thinking that I'm worth calling in moments of stress. So that is things that I think are very important, because when my family actually can rely on me, it means that everyone else can rely on me. It means I am a reliable source. So I am not afraid of helping others in my work, since in my surrounding, I am successful. So that is the way I see it. If I am successful in my surrounding, in my direct surrounding, in my circle, well, and if I'm happy in my circle, well, I can help in my work. So that is what I define as successful, being happy, and being able to make everything work.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. That's so insightful. And I really appreciate you going a little bit deeper with what it personally meant to you, having a phone call from your daughter. I think that's just amazing. I don't have any children, so for me, if I get a phone call from my mum, I do feel that it brightens up my day, especially if I've been able to be supportive to her and be helpful. So I really get where you're coming from that perspective. So thank you very much for sharing that with our audience. From my perspective, success, it means for me to have actually achieved something that I set out to do, no matter how small or large for the day. So at the moment, and it is a very challenging time for me right now, is I'm on an absolutely rigid legal deadline to get my accounts done, where I've had already a legal extension, and so it has to be finished for this week. And success for me in this last few days has been pulling all the receipts together and getting them diarised and finalised on my Excel spreadsheet, and getting everything written and being able to find all the receipts, because I don't file very well during the year, and so it's a bit of a challenge. And success for me in this last few days, certainly in this last few weeks, I've felt that it's been that got that done, another month's done, another one sorted, and it's in the wallet ready for the bookkeeper. And that for me just feels like, because it's not something that I focus on, it's not something that I'm in control of, in terms of I know it has to be done, but I don't feel the need to keep on top of it, because I'd much rather be doing much more fun things. So it's a big deal for me, and I do feel accomplished when I do something like admin, because I don't like doing admin. I'd much rather be on calls or helping clients or doing my TV broadcasts. But it's something that I have to do, and I always have a level of achievement, and I would say that it's achievement with the success, that it's another one done, and I feel very, very just wonderful that I produce very pristine records for my bookkeeper and my accountant. So for me, right at this minute, that's what success means, that I actually get my paperwork done and I find everything that I need to find. So tell me, Reverend Lydia, what are your thoughts about what I've just shared with you? Because it's very different. You're looking at the personal side, and I've been looking at the business side, and something that I hate doing, and yet it's a need to do. And at the same time, it's something that I feel very privileged that I'm able to do well when I put my mind to it. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's very difficult with paperwork. The paperwork is not something that is fun to do, but we have to do it. When it is time, we have to do it. And by the way, there is a terrible blizzard here, and we are in Canada, so blizzards happen a lot in January and February. So that is why I have disappeared. So a very bad connection when there are blizzards, minus 22 degrees.
Oh my
So that
gosh.
is it. Yes, it is very, very cold today.
I was going to say,
And,
that's freezing. I thought I was cold with my blanket. That's really cold. And lizards,
Yeah.
I don't know how I would be coping with lizards in my environment. I think that I would be freaking out and screaming. So thank you for persevering and being here with us, Reverend Lydia. So how has that definition of success changed for you over time? So, for instance, when you were younger, what did success mean to you when you were younger, and how has that changed now in terms of what's the difference that you're now focused on when you think about success personally, what it means to you?
When I was younger, success for me was being the best assistant head nurse, was being the best ICU emergency nurse, always being the first one in everything I started. So I always wanted to be the best of the best. So with me, it was not 100%. I had to be 125%. So that was success for me. Then, I aged like everyone, and wisdom happened to me. And I realized that success could be different. That success was in small things. Sometimes success is just like there's a child crying and you succeed in making that child smile. So that is success. Sometimes it's as frivolous as that. So sometimes success for someone is very, very professional, while success for someone else is different. So everyone has a different definition of success. So that is the way I see it. It is not that I do not want to be successful. I am still the kind of person that wants to be a successful author, successful reverend, the whole thing. But my priorities have changed.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I can attest that I was very, very similar. For me, it was always about getting the accolade for good academia, for success within each job that I had. I wanted to be like you. I was very much. It wasn't 80% or 50%. I would aim for more than 100%, and I would be 150% there. And even when I first started working, I would work more hours, and I wanted to get satisfaction for myself and achievement and accolade from my managers and my people, my supervisors. And so from my perspective, if I hadn't done really well, and my term for it was with bells on, that I was known for Caroline does everything with bells on. And that has followed me all the way through. Ever since I first left school, I've always done things with bells on. And whenever I've taken projects, it's always been with bells on. And I would say that it's come from a place where I am seeking some level of approval, some level of recognition that I am good at what I'm doing. And so I will work really hard. And that for me, when I was young, was about how I deem success. So very much about the qualifications. I was very much a qualification academic person. And each time that I changed my career, I studied hard and got the qualifications. So I didn't just change careers and just move into jobs. I always did it from the qualification training perspective. So every time that I changed my professional, what I was doing, I moved in terms of my academic ability and retrained, restudied, and then qualified or graduated and came out with something. And that for me, getting a new qualification and getting a new role that was showing the success of that achievement from the exams and the achievement from the promotions was my level of success and how other people viewed that. So it was very much external. It was very much being in the limelight of what other people saw. Even when I was in my late 20s and I was involved in junior chamber, I was exactly the same. I was always about taking on projects voluntary and then making a huge success. So I won a lot of awards and a lot of trophies. But for me now, that has changed dramatically, that even though I like to do a good job, and I'll always put 150% to do a good job, but that's part of my nature and nurture. I'm much more looking for the inner success of how I feel in terms of anything that I do, that I've helped someone, that I've helped them change their lives, I've helped them see something. So my work very much comes into mind in terms of displaying or experiencing my success and how that feels. And when I've had a really good client session, I feel a level of achievement which gives me an inner level of success and feeling of a job done well, or I've really helped someone and that's changed their lives. So it very much is still external, but more about the other person in terms of how the work that I've done has changed them. So, Reverend Lydia, do you feel that, what do you think about society's perception of success and how it impacts individual happiness? So I'm looking at when you consider society, and I'm thinking about right from this moment is schools, colleges, universities. When you first leave school, there is a level of societal expectation that you have to do well in academia to get on the ladder and be successful. How do you feel that the society's take and their perception on success impacts an individual's happiness?
There is a large impact because they do not understand that there are different kinds of intelligence. They talk about the academics only, they just look at the marks, and that is not the whole picture, because people can have different grades and still be extremely intelligent. So that is something that has to be looked at again, because it has nothing to do with how the grades are. It has to do with what kind of intelligence the person has. So if the person has an emotional intelligence, well, they might not be so good in math. So they have to be evaluated in a different way. But society does not see it that way. They're starting to change a little bit, but there is too much difference in what should be and what is. You have artists, they are different. They are creators, but the thing is that they are not so good when it comes to marketing or things like that. So what happens is that they actually have a different knowledge of society that those that are in marketing or whatever have. So there is the problem is that different intelligence exists and everyone is smart in their own way. But we have to recognize that. And this society is a little behind when it comes to recognizing different kinds of intelligence.
Thank you,
That is the
Reverend
way I
Lydia.
see it.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. I'm so inclined to agree with you on so many levels. I was nodding when you were sharing that. Yes, I feel that society's expectation is very much based in the grades and in the academia, and that's where I focused on to get noticed, because that was the only way that I saw that it was possible. And to go to university and get that degree felt like the only way that I would be accepted. And that was something that I felt was forced upon me in terms of being in management and being in higher management, senior management, that it was an expectation. And I feel that you're absolutely right. And one of my role models when I was young was Richard Branson. And I followed his career. I feel like I've grown up with Richard Branson. And whatever he did, it felt like, he gave people permission to fail at things. If something didn't work, then he was okay to say, well, that didn't work, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to do something again. And he didn't actually leave school or university with any qualifications at all. And also Alan Sugar, who's on The Apprentice, also didn't leave with any qualifications. So I have some really good male role models that I have looked up to as I've grown up with, and found that you don't have to have the academic qualifications to be a success, and you don't have to be famous to be successful. You just have to enjoy, I feel, what you do to be successful in what you achieve. And so from a very early age, I didn't go through life thinking I have to do this, I have to do that to be a success in terms of career. What I did do is I chose things that I enjoyed doing. So I moved hobbies into careers through training, and then became qualified through things that I enjoyed. And that's the way that I've followed all of my careers and all the things that I've done. By doing something that I enjoy, being in the environment of people like Richard Branson, where he's gone from records. So I used to go to the Virgin shops and listen to the records, and he was the first one to do that. And it was just something that was different and it was unusual. And that's the piece for me, that success for him wasn't about the academia. So thank you very much for sharing the fact that it's not about the qualifications, because it definitely isn't. What do you think about the fact that I've just mentioned, my role models being men, being, sort of not qualified at all? Do you have any thoughts or comments to make about that?
Well, it is the same thing for me, because I actually have role models that people never even heard about. So those role models are the ones that actually made me who I am. So it's not success that actually decides for me who the person is to be be important for me. It has nothing to do with how much money they have, if they are successful or whatever. For me, it is, are they good people? Are they good in life, in what they are doing? Are they successful in what they are doing? And whatever they decide to do, whether they are artists, whether they sing, it does not really matter. If they are good and if they give their 100%, that is fine with me. I do not ask more. All I ask is for them to give their 100% and to be good people. That is the way I see it. And there is also Confucius. He said, if you choose a career that you love, you will never go to work one day. And that is the way it is. So when you decide on something that you really love to do, you never will feel obligated to go to work. You will always feel you're enjoying your life.
I so agree with that, Reverend Lydia. And I'm going to share something with you that just made me think of it. When I first left school, I wanted to do cake decorating. And so I went to college to learn. And I would do what they called cakes on the side, wedding cakes and celebration cakes, Christmas cakes on the side at home. And I would spend hours and hours. I would spend all night till the wee hours of the morning decorating with royal icing, wedding cakes and celebration cakes. And I used to make pictures out of icing. And it didn't matter how long I was there. I'd be just there for hours. And my mum would shout down to say to me, come on, go to bed. It's really late. And I'd be there till 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. So some things haven't changed. And it was just so pleasurable. And I didn't feel the time or the hours go by. And I still have the lamp that I was using to dry the royal icing when I was making pictures. So thank you very much for sharing. It's about what you enjoy. So let's explore happiness. Do you believe, Reverend Lydia, that happiness is a choice, or is it influenced by external circumstances?
Happiness is definitely a choice. Definitely. There is no doubt in my mind about that, because I have been through a lot of very difficult experiences, but I still decided that I would be happy and learn from the experience. So no matter what goes on in my life, I make the choice to be happy. So I'm not a miserable person. I am not a person that will whine about anything. I do not play the victim. I decide to be happy and to see the bright side of everything. I always see everything as I am learning from whatever experience. So for me, happiness is definitely a choice.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. And I would attest the same. I'm exactly the same in terms of it is how you're feeling inside, it's not external. And yet, when I was younger, happiness for me was about being with lots of friends, being out and about, and being there in the middle of a group of friends, socializing. I was always out with friends. And it was very much about the external when I was younger. And it was something that was fulfilling to me. But then there came a point, and it was certainly where I was exploring after my father passed away, that even though I was successful, and even though I'd got everything that deemed me to be successful, therefore I must be happy, I questioned whether I was happy and realized that I wasn't. And so then I started looking inwardly, and that didn't happen till I was 36. I didn't start looking inwardly until my father passed away. So I very much took a long time to go into that inward journey and explore what happiness meant to me. Because I remember saying, if this is it, I'm not happy. And if this is all there is, I am not happy. And it was a huge wake-up call for me, because I felt that I'd done everything that society had wanted me to do, or told me if I ticked all these boxes and did all these things, therefore I should be happy. Success equals happiness. But I didn't find that recipe worked for me. And so from that perspective, I was looking for something else. I was looking to explore other choices and other ways of looking at things, which was what made me explore Eastern philosophy and Eastern culture. And that's why I maybe became a therapist in the end. So, Reverend Lydia, what does the role of gratitude play in achieving happiness and success?
Gratitude, you have to be grateful for whatever. Whatever happens, you have to be grateful. So my way of living my life is every single day I go to bed thinking I have to be grateful for 10 things. So I have to find 10 things that happened during my day, no matter what kind of day that happened. I have to find 10 things that I am grateful for. And usually it is extremely easy. So we can find 50 things that we can be grateful for. We can meet someone on the street and they smile at us. We're grateful. That is enough to be grateful. So it is so easy to be grateful. So that is the way I see things. I'm grateful that way. When something nice happens to me, I'm grateful. But you know what? When a challenge happens to me, I am grateful also because I learn.
Thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. Thank you very much for that extremely personal share and that insight. I really agree with you about gratitude. It's something that I have a huge part in my life, feeling grateful. I even sign off emails with in deepest gratitude, because if you are grateful for something, you get more of what you're grateful for. And I live in that practice. You shared something with me on the weekend, Reverend Lydia, that really surprised me. And you were sharing with me about the fact that you have this wonderful relationship and that you're really happy and it's very successful. And I mentioned to you that that's amazing. You know, it has all the qualities that you were looking for. And, you know, that's amazing that you are in this wonderful, happy relationship. So please, Reverend Lydia, would you mind sharing with our audience a little bit about how you achieved that success, which equated to your now internal and external happiness?
Oh, I did meet the most amazing person that ever happened in my life. And he is everything I wanted. Actually, he actually, he is absolutely everything that I wanted. He is kind. He is grateful for life. He is a happy person. He loves everyone. He is wonderful. But the thing is that I did like many people do. I did the famous list of whatever you want in a person, and he is pretty much everything on my list. But what I also did is I create blends of incense. I do blends of incense. So I created something called the Perfect Mate incense. And I burnt it because I have created that 15 years ago, but I was not burning it because I did not think it was for me. I was not ready yet. So I burnt it, and 3 weeks after, Mr. Right just came in my life. So I do think that I was lucky enough that the incense blend did work for me, and it did work for many people. The only thing is with that blend is that you cannot have someone in mind. You have to be completely empty-headed. You just burn the blend, and you just like let it go and be zen. And that is the way this blend works. So I burned the incense, and I actually tried samples with many, many people, and it did work, and it still does work. So that is the way it happened for me. And that is the way that I would love it to happen to others also. I wish that for
Wow.
everyone.
Well, Reverend Lydia, wow. Can I have some? And I'm sure that lots of people would want some of that. How can people get a hold of this incredible incense that you've created? I mean, we've almost left the best till last as we're just closing out the show. How can people get a hold of this incense?
Well, all they have to do is write to me at greatdivinemother@gmail.com. So they can actually get hold of me, and I will make sure that they have the blend. It is for sale naturally. And they can also write to me on my Instagram account, Diva Divine Mother _. So I answer everyone, and I have enough, no problem. I've been working on that instance for years, so I have enough, and it works, and it's so fun. I do not promise, naturally, because I cannot promise anything. I am not a miracle worker, but I am sure that actually it will help many. That incense will help many, because so far it did help many.
Wow. Well, I'm going to put my order in now while I'm here live on the broadcast. So let's make sure that we do that. And I'm sure that many others, even on this channel, might be wanting to order a copy, order a bottle of this incense. So, Reverend Lydia, are you able to share how much it will cost, or does it depend on what blend is needed?
Well, that specific blend, it will be for Canadian $45 Canadian plus
Right.
shipping. So that is the way, that is how I sell it, plus the shipping.
Well,
But
thank
the
you very
thing
much.
is, well, it brings happiness.
I'm excited. Well, let's have a conversation after the show, and let's make sure that I order myself a bottle. This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing how you have achieved your internal success and your internal happiness and your new relationship. That is absolutely wonderful. I'm hearing all sorts of wonderful things about this new relationship. So thank you very much, Reverend Lydia. It's been amazing to hear your news. And now we are really at the end of our show. And is there any other details that you want to share in terms of how people can contact you, Reverend Lydia?
Well, people can contact me at my phone number in Canada, 1-514-582-6882. And they can actually contact me on my not on my Facebook author page, because I really rather have a one-on-one person with the person. So I'd rather they write to me on Instagram / there I answer all the time, and greatdivinemother@gmail.com. That is, they will always have an answer, but drop a line. I always answer, or I take my messages, and I am happy to do so. Thank you
Thank you,
very much
Reverend
for
Lydia.
having me.
Thank you, Reverend Lydia. What an amazing show. I'm sure you're going to be getting lots of orders for that incredible essence that creates your inner happiness and success. I can't wait to organize my blend with you. And for me, I'm known as the Harley Street Stress Expert, and I help you break through the patterns that create your repeating patterns of stress by looking at the blueprint of what's creating your repeating patterns of stress and using root cause therapy. You can contact me on nomorestress@live.co.uk or call me if you're international, +44 if you're local, 07523 120 189. You can also reach out and connect with me, follow me on Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are my two preferred social media platforms. Well, it's been an exciting show. I can't wait to get hold of Reverend Lydia after the show and order myself a bottle. I need to write down my list. I've been compiling that list for a long time. So we have now been exploring an interesting topic. We have been exploring defining happiness and success. And we have a part 2 of the show coming up very shortly. It'll be 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 4 p.m. 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I really look forward to seeing you at part 2. Join our VIP exclusive community and become an exclusive and community VIP member. For first access to our newest videos and photographs and insights on the royal family. It's live streamed on YouTube and USA Global TV and Radio. Well, we are just about out of time, and now over to our sponsors, and I look forward to seeing you on part 2 of A Woman's Prerogative later on this evening. Bye-bye for now.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today. Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com. a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dies. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.